Hello everyone, this is our final discussion number 8 about teacher burnout. Now, thinking about some of the challenges that I might face in the classroom, in my school, or at a district level regarding management and monitoring my students' learning, I can think about many different types of issues that would cause teacher burnout. Well, let's go ahead and go through what teacher burnout exactly is. As defined by the articles that we recently read, it is a loss of idealism and enthusiasm for work. It can lead to depersonalization, which in a sense means that you'd be distancing yourself or distancing oneself from the coworkers around you, so other educators, teachers, those kinds of things. And although most teachers spend their day in the classroom with multiple people, those people tend to be students, not other coworkers. A second thing that can happen is reduced personal accomplishment. And this is a state of mind where one begins to devalue one's work with others. And the third symptom of teacher burnout, or thing that can happen, is emotional exhaustion. And we've all felt this at one time or another in our lives, I'm sure. And at this point, a teacher can become very highly vulnerable to stress and often will feel empty of personal and emotional resources to deal with the stress or deal with the situation at hand that is causing the burnout. And one thing that really makes aspects of teacher burnout very challenging is that when you get tired of work in a different field, a different profession, so let's say you work in retail, or let's say you work in the fast food industry, well, everything keeps moving while you're gone. You don't come back to McDonald's the next week after you've taken a week off and no burgers have been made for an entire week. You don't come back from a week off from Walmart and see that no sales have been made and no transactions have posted and nothing new, no new inventory has come in. And these types of professions, the work continues without you, without that one employee. Where a teacher is concerned, that's not the same. It's really difficult to give a substitute teacher the lessons and really have them taught in the way that you want them to be taught, really have that information driven home, or that experience or driven home the way that you'd want it to be done by giving that work to a substitute. So for a lot of teachers, when they take time off, and it's not a long-term subposition, we're thinking maybe a week off, 5 days. The classroom in essence really stops, especially if you've got a teacher who's teaching 2 regular level classrooms, 2 AP or higher accelerated classes, and maybe is part of a club or the head of an organization on campus such as ASB or French club. Those kinds of things are kind of put at a standstill without the teacher present. So while most people who get burned out at work can take time off and come back refreshed and rejuvenated, for a teacher, taking time off may lead to additional anxiety, additional stress, worrying about what do I have to cover when I come back? How far are we going to be ahead? What am I going to have to cut out now because we're behind? How far behind are we? And am I going to make it so that I can teach the kids the vital standards or the vital information to hit all the standards and then take their tests or do their standardized testing? Ensuring that you're not doing the students a disservice by not teaching them something and then quizzing them on it or testing them on it, assessing them on something that they haven't learned because you were absent. It's a really difficult challenge. Thus far, I have not experienced a teacher burnout per se, because I haven't experienced being burned out about teaching actual lessons. But at this point, I am feeling burned out about class, about me being a student, about my being a student, and the amount of work that's now being thrust upon us as, the holidays draw near, and it's now Thanksgiving, and that means we really only have 3 weeks left of school before everything's due, and then grades come out after that, and I'm just feeling really rushed, and what do I do? And these types of feelings are the same with a teacher burnout, where you're weighing the perceived demands of turning this in and getting this done and setting up this lesson and making sure my students understand and then getting them to be assessed. That event against my perceived ability to deal with all of that. And it's extremely stressful, and it makes me evaluate my coping resources or my coping mechanisms, and not necessarily helps, and makes me reevaluate my management strategies. And at one point or another, I feel as if my management or coping strategies aren't adequate, and that's when I start feeling that burnout. And that's the same for teachers. And, I think that in order to effectively combat these feelings or these issues, that I really need to seek out other colleagues for help. And in this case, since I'm a student feeling burnt out, I really need to seek out other students in order to collectively gain that support, collectively gain that enthusiasm back. All these other kids, all these other students are feeling the same way that I'm feeling with this burnout, and being able to share those frustrations and being able to listen to how they manage their day or their times or their homework may help me to, one, feel better and feel supported, but also, two, to actually take away some of those things, those management skills that I think important or necessary to improve my own. And in a professional way, as a teacher, I would definitely try to seek out my colleagues as well when I become a teacher, to lean on them for support and opinions and suggestions. The article also mentioned to seek out professional development, and this is something that really resonated with me, because I'm the type of person that if I can't do something or I can't figure something out, I need additional resources. So I'm going to go buy a book on that thing. And I'm going to go buy that cookbook, and I'm going to practice that cookbook in and out until the pages are so worn and I've baked 52 million cookies, but they're perfect. That's exactly how I am. So seeking out additional professional development activities to help me feel more adequately prepared to handle tough situations or stressful situations in the classroom would do wonders for my self-esteem, for my worry, for my stress, for anxiety. That's something that I think is really key, and that should be considered across all facets for all teachers, even in your regular workplace. And then the last thing that was suggested in the article was, and I quote, downshifting. So maybe stepping down from additional duties such as clubs or organizations, and maybe giving up some responsibilities. So as a teacher, if you're the head of the history department, giving that up and instead trying to focus on just your personal responsibilities might be a good option as well.